G'day everyone. Joining me today is Peter Sargent, who is the older brother of Ann Maree.
Correct.
Yes, thank you Peter for agreeing to do a video with me today for the channel.
No worries.
It's really important to keep the memory of the victims alive.
Yep.
And your recollections are going to be really crucial to helping us achieve that. So I was just wondering if we could perhaps start with just explaining a little bit about Ann Maree, like who she was, what she was like, and we'll talk about her hopes and dreams and that type of thing as we move along.
Well, she was a very friendly person. She got on with most people.
Yeah.
She liked looking after kids, even though she was still young herself, but she was often used to babysit neighbours' kids. One thing that does stand out, she's a very good singer, and she did win a couple of small competitions here and there, and she was in a local band that was doing country and western style singing.
Yeah.
And did a couple of tours. So
yeah, right.
Look, yeah, she enjoyed doing that, and look, she did take things to heart sometimes too much.
Yeah.
But yeah, very caring person.
Very caring.
Yes, she was.
Yep. And where was she in the family? Like what child was she? Was she?
Well, she was the third.
The third child.
Myself.
Yep.
My sister, Belinda, and then Ann Maree,
Yep.
and then we had another sister and a brother after that. So
yeah.
She stayed at third.
Yeah. And I think
in the family.
I think at the time it was like your age range was like from 10 to 23 or.
Correct. I was 23 at the time.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you're being the oldest in the family.
I'm the oldest. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
and what did your father do, Fred?
most of the time he was like a loader driver in the sand pits, worked in the sand pits most of his life.
Yeah.
So he used to load up trucks for sand delivery to the local areas, from the quarries, etc., to either land sites or whatever where the sand had to go to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's a loader driver.
He's a loader driver. Yeah. And he did that for most of his working career.
He did most of that, except for one stage he worked in abattoirs.
Oh yeah,
until
right.
he had a slight accident and nearly cut his hand off.
That's no good.
No, so then he went back to driving loaders.
Yeah.
So that was most of his life, just driving tractors.
Yeah, yeah. And at that time, were you still living at home at the time, or had you moved out?
We had moved out. I was living with some friends at the time.
Yes.
We did have. I lived in a flat for a while, and then I did get out of that because I was just by myself.
Yep.
So I went and lived with some friends, and that's about that time.
That was around about that time.
Yeah, I was living in Hampton Park.
Ah, in Hampton Park. And what were you doing for work in 1980?
I was working for what's now called Aveco, but it was international at the time.
Yep.
I was building truck engines.
Oh, right, okay.
At the time, so yeah.
Yeah, yep.
So fitting all the engines, just building the engines up, that's all.
Building the engines up,
yeah.
Yeah. And Ann Maree, she had a sort of a little bit more of a checkered work history. Yeah,
she spent a couple of times but at the end, most of the time she was working for Coles.
Yeah.
Part time.
Yeah.
But she did, shop, work in shops and some other small things, but mainly Coles.
Mainly Coles.
Yeah.
And the reason for her disappearance on that day was that she had to go into Dandenong.
Correct. She wasn't working at the stage.
Yes.
So she went to what's called Centrelink now. But she went in to put in her claim for her money for that fortnight, etc.
Yeah, yeah. And she basically, I think she had been at Philip Greenway's house, and she then called in to see her parents at Cranbourne.
Yeah, correct.
And then where there actually was money available for a bus, I believe.
Yep.
And then she made the decision that she would walk.
Yeah, yeah. Well, so I don't know what she was thinking that particular day and what the full story that day, but yeah, that's what the outcome was. Yeah, apparently, yeah.
Yeah. And when did sort of people start to notice that she'd gone?
Well, her friends that she was living with at the time notified us and said she hadn't come home.
Mm.
So obviously they started to raise flags.
Yep.
Then obviously after I think a day or so, police were involved, were notified that she hadn't come home.
Yep.
I think there was like I said, rang some friends or looked some friends. And
yep.
Whatever. So yeah, really there was just happened.
Yeah, yeah. And at that time she was living with the Buck family, wasn't she?
Correct, yes, that's it.
In Devon Meadows.
Well, just out of Cranbourne.
Just because
Just out of Cranbourne.
I'm sort of not that familiar with the area, and I'm sort of where is it in Railway Road? And
It's basically Cranbourne.
Cranbourne, yeah.
It is Cranbourne. It's just not far from the which now the swimming pool, library, etc.
And I think I also read that she enjoyed going to the discos at the time.
She did, yeah. She did, like either Cranbourne or there was a place in Daniel at the time near the railway station I like visiting.
Yeah. And so, like any sort of, I suppose, teenager at that time, discos were a big thing.
Correct, yes.
And she would have enjoyed going around to the various ones that she could get to, I suppose.
And she's hanging out with her friends. That was the thing. So, her friends were important to her.
Yeah, hanging out with her friends and having a pretty good time.
Good time, yeah.
Yeah. So she disappeared, and Patricia Buck is the one who really raised the alarm, because she was the one that she was living with at the time. People started looking, or started to think, where could she have gotten to?
Unusual for her to do that. Yeah.
I've read a lot that she was a known hitchhiker. Is that actually true? Do you think that she did a lot of hitchhiking, or some hitchhiking, or?
I think she did some. In that particular period of time, that's what a lot of people did.
Yeah.
To get around, they hitchhiked to get around. I know I used to hitchhike sometimes to get from Dandenong on, because I had to go to trade school.
Yeah.
And the only way I can get there was either, get home was hitchhike.
It's hitchhiking, yeah.
Because the buses weren't, that reliable, and train didn't come all the way to Cranbourne like it does now.
Yes.
And it's the only way we can do it. But there was everyone, not the same one, but a lot of people hitchhiked in that period.
So it just wasn't an uncommon thing.
It wasn't uncommon for anyone,
Yeah.
And even after this all happened, there were still people, and particularly women, that used to hitchhike.
Even after?
Yep.
They were still hitchhiking around that time.
Yeah.
And I just find that amazing, because often when you get these serial killings around the world, women sort of say, "Oh, I'm not going outside. We're not going out for Saturday drinks now. We're all scared of the Ripper." So that happens, but it didn't happen here.
No, they still kept doing it.
Do you think that it got enough publicity at the time?
Probably not. Probably not.
No.
Probably not as much. It could have been a lot better.
Yeah.
I know that the media did show some interest.
Yeah.
And it did hit the papers.
Yeah.
I think could have been pushed a bit harder.
Absolutely.
At the time, I think yes, it really could have been pushed harder.
And
to try and get that information, people to come forward to get this information that you've now gathered.
Yes.
And probably would have helped at the time.
Yeah. Because you would think that she's hitchhiking along a fairly busy road, that lots of people would have driven past her, and that surely someone could come forward from that time. I mean, our hitchhikers they probably weren't a dime a dozen, but even when I was younger, you'd drive past somebody and there's hitchhikers, usually international tourists before Ivan Milat got going. We'd see them where I'm from too. So you would think that perhaps someone might have gone, I do remember seeing a girl. Because she was wearing bib and brace overalls, she was wearing a shirt, she had some jewellery on, she was, just styled according to the time, and people might well have recognised that.
Some people don't want to come forward, I think, sometimes. And then people get re-election a long time after, and they say, "Oh, that rings a bell," and then they remember something. But at the time, I don't know what happened then. I said, obviously people would have passed, should have seen something. I don't know. It's hard.
It's very difficult. And I believe the staff at the Commonwealth Employment Service, or the old, that's what it used to be called when I was at school. They did have some vague memories of her turning up. So she obviously made it to her destination. The day she disappeared, what did the family do that day? You received a phone call at Hampton Park from your parents telling you that she was missing.
No, that telephone call I had is when they found her.
Oh, when they found her.
So I think I was working down Traralgon Way at the time she disappeared. Right, and got informed. I think when I come home that they hadn't found her. But I was. I remember the day I got the call that they had found her, and that was I think it was a Saturday. And I was at Hampton Park at the time, so I came up and I had to go and inform the Bucks of what happened, because at that stage they didn't know.
They didn't know.
No.
So you had the task of going over and...
I had the task, I sort of had to go and let them know, because I think it was the right thing to do, because since she was living there,
Yeah.
and they took some sort of responsibility for her at that time.
Yes.
So I remember having to inform them.
Yes. Yeah, I think even Patricia had volunteered to take her in too. I think I read in the reports, and then then Philip was another one who could have taken her in, but he'd just come off his shift at the shoe factory and was going to sleep. So it just all kind of, unfortunately the wheels of fate rolled the way that they actually did. Yeah, and so the Bucks would have been extremely distressed and
well, I remember Patricia taking it pretty bad when I told her. So
she thought it was a pretty horrific thing, because she really loved Ann Maree. Yeah, they were. She took her in under her wing and really sort of looked after her. Tried to get her moving forward in life. So that's really good. How did you find the police's attitude to her at the time? Did they consider her to be a runaway, or were they very
Well, I really didn't have any involvement with the police until after they found her.
Yeah.
Right, so I wasn't asked any questions
where
she could be or anything like that until I said she'd been found, and then I got an interview by 2 detectives, which I think one we sort of knew.
Yeah.
And it was after the event, so nothing beforehand.
Yeah.
So Mum and Dad were probably more involved in an initial report of missing. Yeah. And I wasn't. Yeah.
Yeah. So once they found her, that's when they said, right, we need to find out as much as we can about Ann Maree and talk to you and talk to...
Yeah, so they spoke to all the members of the family at the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Obviously their reports.
Yeah, yeah. And nothing really came up for a while, sort of, leading up to when she was found. And then after that, did the police give you any sort of idea on progress reports as they were going along?
Honestly, I can't remember getting reports. Mum and Dad may have, but Mum and Dad, I don't think got a lot at the time.
Yeah.
Obviously, the police were probably in the background doing what they had to do.
Yes.
If you go through what I've read, etc., obviously, like I said, in the background they were working. Yeah. But I don't think we all kept informed. I certainly wasn't. Yeah. Kept informed what was going on. Yeah.
Yeah. And there've been numerous suspects have popped up over the journey. The prime one being Harold Jammin, who was the cinema projectionist at Frankston.
Yep.
A lot of stuff, there's a lot of smoke around that particular individual.
Correct.
They also suggested Bandali Debs as well, and Raymond Edmonds.
Correct.
They came up too. Raymond was apparently in New South Wales, Singleton, at the time, documented being up there, so that kind of eliminated him. And Bandali Debs, they said he just didn't have he wouldn't have had the charm to coax women into a vehicle, which leaves our projectionist, who potentially is the top suspect, and a very strange individual. So and that smoke just doesn't clear, so he's pretty much going to be in the frame for a long time. So I just want to sort of also talk about the media. So over the years, how the media have come and gone from your life over the years, much at all?
They have a little bit to some degree, but it was much later on.
Yeah.
I think when they were trying to narrow down their suspect, I did have an interview for at the police in Melbourne. Yes. At the headquarters there.
Yeah. They'd upped the rewards to $1 million per victim. Yeah. And I think it was around about 50,000 at the time. Yeah. So they did bring it up quite significantly. Yeah.
Yeah. So like I said, it was later on the police really did try and get some more information. Yeah. Obviously, their suspect was getting on, and they probably wanted to get on top of it before anything happened to him. Yes. But I know one other interview I didn't make the TV. Probably at the time might have got people's interest up and then people coming forward. But
Yeah.
unfortunately, it never made the TV. It got cancelled.
Got cancelled.
That particular show.
Yep.
So I hope there would have probably been some more information coming forward. But it'd be nice if people could come forward and give some more information.
Yeah.
And even though our suspect is no longer with us,
There's
it would
nothing-
certainly make a bit more closure.
Yes. There's nothing wrong with being pinged for it retrospectively.
Yeah.
And that would really be a great outcome. So just also was really keen to sort of talk about the impact on the family. So from the day she disappeared into the day she was found until today, how has it been for the family? How have you all processed it, and how have you coped?
Coping, look, we've got on top of it, so to speak. It's been parked a little bit, but it never goes away.
Yeah.
Often, like I said, we get together with my sister. I've got two sisters that we have had every now and then got together, especially around maybe her birthday, something like that, just to do, we haven't forgotten. We haven't forgotten. It's just, it's there and parked away, as I said, but she's never forgotten.
Yeah.
And every now and again we'll do have a conversation about her.
Yes.
So it's just life goes on, but it said she's not forgotten.
She's not forgotten.
She's not forgotten, for sure.
Yeah, and that's the most important thing also, I think, for the broader community too. Like, it could have been anyone's sister, daughter, relative who encountered these people, and these scumbags who do these type of activities should always be held to account for them, and they should never ever be allowed to get away. They shouldn't do it in the first place, but if they're going to if they feel they need to go down this road, then this is the legacy that they actually leave.
Biggest thing they leave behind is the why.
Yeah.
Why did you do this? Why?
Why? Yeah.
And how these people can just continue on in their life and just keep doing it and not worry, not think about what they're doing. And obviously these people just don't care.
No.
They don't care.
Yeah, they don't have any empathy.
Correct.
Empathy is the right word.
And and the impact, like I said, happens on all families, and it leaves behind for them. It's not good. It's just painful.
Yeah.
It is painful.
It is painful.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this pain lives on, and and I always put out the appeal on the channel to anyone: if you know something, come forward. There is always hope in these older cases that these events can be solved.
Yep.
And I think with the Frankston Tynong, which is Australia's largest unsolved serial killing case, it's crucial that we still keep the focus and the attention on trying to locate the perpetrator, finding justice for the victims, and peace for the families.
Yeah.
I think that's not too much to ask and expect. One thing that sort of really dismayed me about it at the time was that when these women just vanished. And that is just the most frustrating part about it. This is a non-CCTV era. There's cameras absolutely everywhere. Back then there were no cameras, there were no mobile phones. It was just an ideal time frame for someone who was going to do that type of activity. Each one of them, there was not a witness to a single one of them, or not a witness that came forward.
Yeah.
That's the most amazing thing about it.
Yeah.
And I think the police were really dismayed at that time. I know the Frankston police were.
Yeah.
That they had said at the time that it was absolutely abhorrent that the Frankston community could have gone around their business when Alison Rook disappeared, the first one to go, and nobody saw anything, or people don't want to come forward.
Well, yeah. So if people could come forward and just add that bit of information so that they can add to the suspect, just to pinpoint it, or two suspects. I mean, I think there was another one in the background there because these two people knew one another.
Yes. 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 Yeah, that really sparked my attention when I first started looking at this case in 2019. That there were two men who were connected through work, bodies turning up in both cases. And I thought, even in 1980 Melbourne, there is a whole host of suburban psychopaths out there. And I get people coming forward to me who say, I think it was my stepfather, I think it was my brother, or and they come forward. And I'm always looking for key information that can link them to a location or a victim. It just doesn't happen.
No.
There's no other suburban psychopath, and there's plenty of them, who matches up as well as the two that are probably primarily in the frame.
And surprising, these group of people, they seem to know all one another and what they do.
Yes.
It's just, I don't know how they get away with it.
It's absolutely incredible that you think about the brazen act of stopping at a bus stop where a woman she's not in a hurry, she's waiting for the bus, stopping there and asking her if she wants a lift, yes or no, and spinning the wheels and driving off when you get a knockback, and probably gleeful when you actually get an acceptance. And all of these victims were pretty much going about their day-to-day business. They weren't looking for any disruption to their lives. And these men, or men, or whoever it is who's done it, has been able to get away with it for 45 years. It's mind-blowing.
And how they keep living mentally for themselves.
Exactly, yeah.
They don't have any guilt, any feelings or whatever. As I said, I don't think they care. They just obviously just can keep doing it.
That's right. They keep on keeping on. And interestingly enough, with the Frankston Tynon murders, it all stopped. And it all stopped after a particular interview had taken place. The lift offering stopped as well. 50 lifts were offered in the 18-month period. 50 lifts. 50 lifts to women and girls. Girls as well. So there was a girl in Frankston on a Friday who was walking home from school, and she said a man in a van pulled up and asked her if she wanted a lift home. She said no. She's perhaps one of the lucky ones. And the other thing that I find really sort of strange in all the cases too is that, as I said before, no one was in a hurry to get anywhere. They were like, oh, thank you, sir, I'll take a lift. Everybody used the bus service back then. You waited for the bus, and in every case you'd hear that most of them wouldn't take a lift from a stranger, excepting for the practice of hitchhiking, which was pretty ubiquitous at the time, common. So people would do that. And Ann Maree, she was hitchhiking. That's
where everyone trusted people.
Everyone trusted people, and you think that your sister is going to be safely conveyed from one place to another, dropped off, and away you go. But that just didn't happen, unfortunately, for Ann Maree. And and the world's a sadder place for her not being here. So that's the legacy that we're all left with. She's not here
but she's not forgotten.
But she's not forgotten.
No, definitely not.
Who knows how her life might have turned out?
Oh, I'm sure she would have been great with kids further, maybe gone down that path. It's hard to say. At such an early age that she went.
Yeah, 18 is you're still a child.
Oh, so plenty of years and future ahead of her.
Yeah.
So decisions could have been made that impacted and made been a really great life. I don't know.
No, and she was also a little bit disadvantaged by the fact that she had to leave school early. So with the von Recklinghausen condition that she had and the surgery that she had, which helped to identify her, she was forced to leave school in year 8. And I know employment back at those times was pretty rough to find. They were sort of semi-depressed years, that 1980 sort of a period. I was only 11 at the time. So, but if you were looking for work back in 1980 as a school, someone who's
just left school,
pretty hard to find steady work. And the minute she turns 18, they'll let her go because they're going to pay her more money.
Yeah, that's it. So
she had a pretty turbulent start to a working career, and that's sad. So we just we're all missing on how she might have turned out in life.
Correct. Yes.
And we have the Sargent family is forever grieving for Ann Maree because she's not here anymore. And it's the way she went. She went in a manner that is just unforgivable.
Well, my two sisters, they still struggle sometimes,
Yeah.
and this isn't why they don't want to sort of talk about it anymore. So,
Yeah.
except when we have our like get together and maybe have a memory come up, that's about it. So you know, they haven't forgotten either. It's just hurtful for them.
Yeah.
Because the relationship they had.
They had with her.
Yeah, they did.
She was their older sister.
No,
Oh.
there was.
So
She was in the middle.
she was in the middle. Oh, so there's one, and then she was in the middle.
Belinda's,
and then
she's after me.
after you, yeah.
Ann Maree,
Then
and
Ann Maree,
Diane.
and then Diane. So
Yeah.
she's the middle child.
Basically, yeah, at the time, yes.
In the classic sense of the
Yeah.
word,
Yes.
she's a middle child.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Like, she tried to get on with everything, and she just said she did get on with people very well. Just reflections, you know, of some of the things she did.
yeah,
You know, like she was a happy person in some ways.
yeah,
We all have our struggles.
Yes.
She had her struggles as well in life,
yes,
just like
Yeah.
everybody else.
Just
But
like
she got on and did what she had to do.
mm, yeah. What can you say?
That's it.
What can you say? She did her best
She did.
with the hand that she was dealt.
That's it, exactly.
You know, and you can't expect any more. So I'm really, while I'm very sort of, you know, saddened by the disappearance of all of them, the younger ones particularly,
Yeah.
very, very sad when
Their life
their
was
life
cut
was
short.
just cut short. You know,
That is correct.
poor Catherine at the age of 14.
Right.
Just a horrible, horrible thing. Ann Maree at 18. Just, you know, men were shot at 19 on battlefields, but
Yeah.
they were doing it for king and country. But
But there's a reason.
there's a reason and there's
you
a
know, you can
reason.
understand and
You
say,
can
well, you shouldn't have been there, but you can understand that there's a reason. But this is just no answer, so to speak.
yeah,
No one's been held accountable,
no,
really,
yes,
except suspects, and that's about it.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, just the suspect.
even if they got the suspect and they could prove it, and he was held, it would have helped a little bit.
Yeah.
But still, there's no reason for anyone to go that way.
No,
You know.
yeah, exactly. He's just been able to, he or they has been
Yeah.
able to live their lives
With that,
without it. It's such an evil thing to do, and it's not that common. This type of behaviour and activity is not that common. You don't see, for the vast amount of women and girls that are out there, it's only a very small percentage that actually have this type of a fate, and so when men who are doing this type of behaviour pop up, they are relatively rare, and you have to think that you know where the smoke was at that time, and as Ron Iddles always says, the answer's in the file.
Yeah.
And I still believe that the answer's in the file, 100%. You know, I don't think there's a mystery man out there that is gone by the.
I think they were pretty, from what I can read and what I've been told, they had their person.
They had
They
their
honestly
person.
believe they had their person.
Yes.
In the end.
In the end, yeah.
Yep. In the end, they had their person, but just couldn't prove it.
No, that's correct. So, but it still doesn't mean that we can't. So, the appeal is out there. Let's keep it going. Keep the flame burning for Ann Maree and the 5 other women who terribly lost their lives in such a horrible way, that we can still solve the Frankston Tynon murders after all these years. It's time. It's time, people. It's time for us to keep digging. If you saw something, if you know something, you had a strange encounter, you had anything like that, please let us know on the channel. Talk to us, ring Crime Stoppers,
Yeah.
however you want to go. Like, it's there's ways to talk about these things, to let it come out, clear the air and get some closure.
Well, any little bit of information further comes through just adds a bit more to that closure.
Yes.
But there'll never be a real closure.
No.
But, as I said, any information will help.
Yes.
It will add to whatever is already out there.
Yeah.
And just, get something happening.
Yes. Yep. That's correct. And Peter, I want to thank you so much for your time today.
Welcome.
Because it's been really incredible to come and meet you. I've read a lot about the case. Today I'm going to visit all of Ann Maree's key locations and do videos at each location So I've got a bit of work to do. And yeah, I do hope that you and the family can get that closure. And it's always going to be possible.
Yeah, well, let's hope so. There's something, just does come through.
Yep.
That's all we can hope for.
That's all we can hope for.
Yeah.
It's in the hands of the community. So they've got to rally and dig deep. People have passed away now. Relationships have changed.
Yeah.
Have a heart. Tell us what you know.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Yeah. Cheers.